Well, I brought up law enforcement tonight, but as far as mental health goes, and I mean severe, real mental health, people that have realistic delusions, they have extreme like psychosis and just not just like neurotic people, because there's a lot of neurotic people that are OCD or like extreme OCD, and that could be a frustrating psychiatric condition, extreme OCD or like ADHD. Those are extreme things, but I'm talking about people that deviate from reality. There is so little understanding for these people. I know personally many people with these kind of psychiatric conditions that if you just look at them, they look just like anyone else. You would have to really speak with them. And sometimes, unfortunately, their sickness and their illness, it depends on their current situation. So they may be doing really well when they get that new job, or they may be doing really well and they may appear like there's nothing wrong. Then once they get that job, they may experience some dissatisfaction somewhere in their life, or something like a ticket from a police officer could set them off. And I'm not saying that it's just law enforcement, it's other things, but I've seen people like that with schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorders, some seriously clinically diagnosed illnesses that they just fall through the cracks of society. They become, most of the time, shunned by society. And a lot of times these people have the answers in a lot of ways if we're more sensitive to try to understand. They can be the solution to some epidemics, some dysphoriation or things that happen, because mental disorders are not new, and there's always going to be minorities of people in society that are going to be rejected. And I know it's unfortunate, and society, as we become more sophisticated, we should be more proactive in trying to accommodate or understand, the different. I know it's hard because we're full of a country full of illegal immigrants. They're criminals. And the police and people, they are, and the first ones in society that are affected the worst are the weakest, the elderly, children, right? Isn't that the ones we're worried about? But the very sick, mentally sick, they're very important people. Some of them, have contributed some really amazing things to society and historically contributions. But we don't recognize them. Most of the time, we can't. Like if a law enforcement officer pulls someone over and, that could set that psychiatric person off. And we've seen things that happen, it's unfortunate, and so we can't help it, but it should hit home. But as we become more sophisticated, in society, especially when we have tools at our disposal, we should be taking more consideration and more accommodation. I'm just saying, I'm not against law enforcement. I'm just against my experiences with law enforcement. That's very clear. And I can point my finger because I have experienced discrimination, absolute discrimination, abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, assaults. No, I'm not going. This is a lot for me. No. And I know they said, well, you can't blame one for doing it. Listen, I had a police officer, he just showed up out of the blue and started walking all around my property and everything. I have a no trespassing sign in the front driveway. I'm going, what? He's just walking all around the property. He said, okay, so I look at him. He's on my camera. He's out there walking around the property. So I can't tell who he is. What is he, a constable? He's a sheriff? Where's this dude from? A police department somewhere? And apparently what he, I, 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 I ambushed him and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Because you're in my backyard and you're going under my porch and stuff." And he's like, well, I got a complaint for something was stolen. I said, "Okay, fine." So he's like, "Well, I'm searching with a Bluetooth to see if there's this device, I guess." He's trying to use he's like trying to connect to a Bluetooth device, see if it's on his Bluetooth on his phone. Completely illegal. Okay? Without a warrant, that's completely illegal. Okay? Not when he's trespassing on the property. Okay? But I'm just saying, you have to understand, mentally ill people would be so much more susceptible to anything. They cannot be doing illegal stuff and then, like, well, first of all, I don't even know if I believed him. Then when I tried to call in to complain, no one would take responsibility. We don't know him. When he said he got a call, okay, that didn't happen. There wasn't any stolen property. No, but they would never do that to my father. They would never go to 50 Waterford Bend in the Woodlands at like a $10 million house and just start snooping around. Because people don't steal in the Woodlands. That's why. Because we're stealing. You guys are, some people, y'all need to freaking wake up.